Hey guys, and welcome back to Blockchains Unchained, your go-to channel for insights on all the latest blockchain projects, brought to you by the VC firm ICONPLUS Capital. My name is Layah Heilpern. Today we have Quaison Carter on the show, the CEO of Lost Worlds, the very first location-based NFT platform on the Avalanche network. Hi Quaison, welcome to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. I'm alive. I'm here.
Good. That's all that matters. So for those who don't know who you are, could you please give us a little bit about your background?
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Quaison. The best way of remembering that is like Jason with a Q. My name means to be born on Sunday. I was born on Sunday, but that's not why I was named Quaison. You could probably tell I say that a lot because people it's hard. It's a more unique name, even though it's somewhat common. So just outside of that intro, my general background is that, I come from the advertising and marketing world. I found myself in the crypto space probably around 2013, where I had my first kind of introduction to Bitcoin. And then just through the years with the introduction of Ethereum, with DeFi Summer, just found myself going deeper and deeper into that, right? So I really started out building digital experiences for brands like Coca-Cola, Burger King, Macy's, Virgin Atlantic. And these are at all the big agencies that I used to work at as a producer and a strategist. And I would always be looking for different ways to bring them into Web3. And at the same time, I was also teaching at this startup school called General Assembly, and doing a lot of guest teaching or adjuncting at NYU and other universities. And I would see the students just really kind of talking about and getting really excited about what's coming down the pipeline. So probably around last year, maybe a little bit more than a year now, really just decided to figure out a way to create Web3 experiences utilizing my background in advertising. And then just general fun fact about me is I'm Jamaican and I'm the oldest of 13 kids, but those two things are not mutually exclusive.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of siblings. That's pretty wild. I think it's really interesting that you come from this marketing background. I think it adds a lot of value to the space because of that marketing. It doesn't matter how good your project is or your platform is, you're just not really going to get anywhere. But you have a pretty interesting platform, actually. It's about geolocation NFTs. So explain to me, what does that even mean and how does it work in the real world?
Yeah, so, NFTs or more simply digital assets that can be provably unique has really opened up this door and opportunities for applications that are commonplace and in the real world to be used in the quote unquote metaverse or digital economy. So what Lost Worlds as a mission is to really bring real world utility to NFTs. And the way that we're really going about doing that is by geographically bounding NFTs to real world locations. And some people at first glance, they'll say why is that? Why is that valuable? And there's a number of reasons why that is, right? Starting with just the NFT space as a whole. The value of a project in large part is decided by the relative scarcity, the perception, what people can project onto the project in terms of their experiences. You think of something like a Bored Ape, some people could say the reason why it worked or part of the reason why it worked is just, people were projecting their personalities onto these apes, right? Oh, this one has a hat. This one has cool sunglasses. This one is dead inside, right? And people they would project their experiences or their world onto that. So the use of location as a variable for minting adds an additional form of scarcity. One, right? You have to travel or be there in order to access something. And then it opens up that other part, related to experiences and community. I mean, I don't know if you've had this before where, you just strike up a conversation with somebody and you find out you went to the same school or you went to the same bars, right? Or you went to the same concert, right? And you those moments are, again, shared experience, both in time and physical reality, that creates connection. It creates community, right? You bond very differently, right? So location-based NFTs, depending on the type of project, it really creates an opportunity for people to connect, right? And I could give many examples about how that can be.
Yeah, we'll definitely get into all of that. I totally understand. You really do tend to have that kind of connection with somebody when you've been to a similar place, especially since we live in such a decentralized world and everybody's always traveling. So that's absolutely true. But in terms of what makes you guys unique, or what is your competitive advantage to other similar NFT platforms on other ecosystems? Because I said before that you're the first, but I think you're to be clear, you're probably the first on Avalanche.
No, it's funny because we're probably the actual first. Like I was looking at some other ecosystems, and there's a bunch of people that are trying to do what we're doing, but they're still in their roadmap. Like, hey, in 2027, we're going to have this, right? Because they're starting out with like the most grandiose vision of what this potentially could be. And in part, that is our advantage, right? We're the first people that are actually, where you can actually do the minting, right? On there. I think there's a few of them that they haven't launched yet. They've launched aspects of it, but they haven't done this bit. That said, there are a number that are taking what we're doing from a different angle. And it is also safe to say we're the first on Avalanche, right? That's doing this. And I would say being first for us is also a challenge, because we don't have anyone else's mistakes to learn from but our own, which sucks. But it's also like one of those things where it's like we have a chip on our shoulder about it. But it's also what the relationships and the focusing on tooling versus owning, and collaborating versus competing, specifically within the Avalanche ecosystem, is really what's allowed us to establish ourselves and provide almost a unique place within the ecosystem. We just did, what was this now? Maybe like 3 weeks ago, we did something at Avalanche Summit, which was like the big summit with Avalanche. Everybody, there was like 4,000 people there. And we partnered with 34 of the top projects in the space. And we shared their audiences, and we started integrating with them, and we're allowing ourselves to be integrated with their projects, and we're allowing our project to be integrated with them. So the way that we think about how we establish ourselves, or how do we create a definition, is not through like competition or like how do we protect our IP. It's more, how can we help? How can we facilitate? How can we become tooling for you to make your project better? Because with any industry, it really comes down to relationships more than anything.
Yeah, I think that's the healthiest way to do it. So let's get into this a little bit more. I want to understand how Lost Worlds can be used to help businesses and real world entities to essentially drive foot traffic, provide more unique experiences, whether there's discount codes, promos, and when can we expect to see these kinds of partnerships?
Yeah, I mean, this is an area I'm super excited about. I'll say that right now, like today, we're focusing on pushing out our first 2 native projects. So, we're a platform, so we're not beholden to any individual NFT drop, any NFT event, whatever it may be. But we wanted to prove out kind of the use cases of what we're doing. So we dropped 2 projects, one called Continents NFT. You can mint the NFT based off of the continent that you're in, and then you can buy and sell it on the secondary marketplace. And if you collect all 7 continents, you get rewards or achievements and things of that nature. And then we have portals coming behind that. And then we're also focusing on an ambassador program to get creators to answer briefs where they can win like $5,000 worth of loss, right, and their own revenue generating drop, just to respond to some of these briefs to build out our ecosystem. But in regards to like real world businesses and the value we could potentially drive to retail, we have some really exciting conversations with like really well-known brands and event providers. I don't want to say their names yet because they're the whole NDA thing. It's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
I want to shout it from a rooftop. We're like, hey, we're going to do this. But, what we recognize is that when it comes to retail, when it comes to like being, the physical footprint, the inherent friction right now is the ease of access for the mass community, right? Not just with Avalanche, but with crypto as a whole. And right now we're solving this, or we're it's in our roadmap, and we're building this out by building out fiat on-ramps for our platform. So people don't even have to engage with the crypto. They can just literally buy it from there. That's right. I'll say there's some hotels coming down the pipeline, right? As well as just some cool mom and pop shops that are going to be doing some really interesting experiences down there. But I don't want to just say tomorrow, but it's coming, within this quarter, I would say.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting. We're going to see this integration between the metaverse and the real world, some kind of augmented reality. I'm not sure, but I think it's going to be a whole new future. So it's going to be really exciting. But you actually mentioned the Lost token there. So talk to me about Lost. What's the use case of it, and where does its value come from?
Yeah, so currently the Lost token serves as an access token. So that's today, right? Depending on the amount of loss you stake on our platform, you'll have access to different tools, features, et cetera, on the platform. But funny enough, within the next couple of weeks, we're rolling out more of the token utility that we're communicating with our community about, including the ability to purchase NFTs on our marketplace directly with loss, as well as we're working on being able to purchase it on the primary marketplace with loss. But the one that I'm really most excited about, right, in the near term is this idea of bounties.
Right.
Users who aren't able to mint an NFT because they're out of range will be able to post a bounty, right? They'll be able to say like, hey, there's this cool, Kanye concert and it's in California and somebody's minting it, right? And it's happening or there's like some festival, everybody's at Coachella and you want the cool Coachella badge, right? But you're in New York or you're wherever you are. I don't know where Coachella is these days, but what you could do is you could post a bounty in Lost. And if someone is in range to mint that, they can mint that NFT for you and get rewarded up to 80% of that bounty, creating, in essence, that explore to earn economy, right? That's, we talk about play to earn, but now this is explore. You could get paid in order to mint NFTs for other people. And what's even more exciting about that, just from the financial standpoint, is, that 20% of loss that we may take, we actually, we take that out of the circulating supply, right? So it creates a deflationary mechanism within there just for people, placing bounties and minting loss. I mean, the loss token also serves as like a de facto governance token. We don't want to become a Facebook where we police, what types of projects get put on the platform. We want to hand that over to the community. Mm-hmm. People will stake their loss and they use that as a voting rights and voting mechanisms for the types of creators that are allowed to be on the platform. Also, creators themselves will have to lock up a certain amount of loss as a commitment to not only our platform and our community, but also to their project in order to drop projects on our platform. So that's just some of the within the next 6 months type utility, and there's so much more that's coming down the pipeline that we're just hashing out some of the finer details before I start just dropping more alpha on you guys.
Okay. No, it all sounds really exciting. And you actually did just touch on my next question, which is essentially, how do you encourage people to stake? And then also, how are you planning on bringing in new investors?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it a little bit. It ties back into the token utility, but it really begins with our core consumers that are within the Avalanche space, because one, the Avalanche community is a loyal community. They're really freaking loyal. So, and we appreciate them, and all the projects are here to support with each other. But it's also to remember one thing is that with any NFT platform, with any NFT marketplace, the real value comes from the access, the type, and the quality of projects that deploy there, right? So honing in on the partnerships and the brands, first in Avalanche, then the real world events and projects that we're working with right now and the artists that we're working with right now. And then focusing on the projects and brands on other chains is kind of the simple answer, and bringing in deal flow.
So just finally then, can you tell us where is Lost Worlds at right now and what key milestones can we look forward to?
So there's like a lot coming. I spoke about some of it, but one, Continents NFT just went live. So if you go to lostworlds.io/discover, or just go to lostworlds.io, Continents is that first project where you can mint the continent which you reside, and there's achievements and goals, and we're using that as a proof of concept, right? Then we have portals. Portals will be launching in the next kind of week or two, or a couple of weeks, I would say, and which is, it's driving home that concept of location-based NFTs down to hyper local destinations, where what we've done is we've had an artist render out some of your most famous landmarks, and just they wanted to have an expression of what would happen if we don't take care of our most famous destinations on our world. What happens if global warming takes over? And you get to go there and mint them, the Louvre in experience. And what would it look like if the French do the thing that the French love to do, which is riot and end up destroying the place, right? And then, we really want to do after that is, so those are the first two projects, but then after that, we're concurrently with that, we're going to be implementing those next round of product features, which is what I've just communicated, which is the loss token utility around purchasing and loss, bounties, which in essence, again, is like Mechanical Turk for NFT minting, if anybody's familiar with that. And then concurrently with all of that, it's the World Creators Ambassador program that I was also talking about, which is we can reward creators for creating. And I would just tell people to, hop in our Discord, come up with cool location-based NFTs that our community finds interesting, and we'll mint, and we'll reward you. We'll pay you in loss, right? We're creating something that's never existed before. And we're building out a community, and we want to prove out this thesis. So if you're a fan of NFTs, if you're a fan of traveling, we're here and we're building, and we love if people can help us build out as we execute against our roadmap.
Quaison, thank you so much. It's been so fascinating to learn more about Lost Worlds. I think with the metaverse coming very quickly, it's going to be really interesting to see, that sort of seamless integration between the real world and the virtual world. So I am very excited to give it a go and see how everything plays out.
It's happening. I'm excited too. I'm happy to be here with you as well.
Thanks so much. And guys, if you do want to find out more information, you can head to the website lostworlds.io or just follow them on Twitter.